loads happened in that race. I hit my own teammate off. Yeah, that caused a red flag. I missed a gear at the start. Too much aggression on the throttle one. Race 1 was pretty mad. Had a couple of offs. Couldn't see anything towards the end of the race. Might be on pole for the next race, so we'll see. I was slower than yesterday in testing, which means we'll be down on power. There's a few optimistic moves that I'll leave out.
Hello and welcome everyone to round 3 of the BRSCC Mazda MX5 Supercup. This weekend we arrive at the Croft circuit in Darlington. These MX5 Supercup cars are lapping Croft in around 1 minute 36, that's an average speed of approaching 80 miles an hour, and it should provide some excellent racing.
And I went out with a balls out mentality of just push, and I had a couple of offs, which was fun. There's too much aggression on the throttle on exit, but yeah, calmed it down a little bit and found a bit of pace. But I'm on old tyres today, so quite a few people running newer tyres, which are much better in the wet. We're on to another session. Hopefully it dries out before the next one. It was actually really funny. There was a point where I was coming alongside the Mark 1 into turn 1, and he braked really late, and I thought, oh, maybe I should be braking there, and then he went straight on into the gravel. Felt like it was a good session. I'm going to check some data now and see how we got on.
You both lost 2/10 on the brakes.
About 6-7 tenths off the pace, but I do think it's down to tyres. So if you look at my tyres, these are old 2022 tyres from last year, and this is what we're going to be putting on tomorrow for qualifying and the racing. So they are brand new and they've got a nice little shave on them as well, which is legal. Just come back from quali, and I'll try and hide my disappointment for the camera, but finished P12, and I was slower than yesterday in testing, so obviously the tyres haven't really worked how we expected them to. We're changing the exhaust and we're going to old shaved tyres. We think that maybe the new shaved tyres are not as quick.
Dad? One of the wires is coming out the lambda sensor. Leigh?
Yeah? The lambda sensor is unplugged, which means the engine's not getting told how much fuel to put in, which means we'll be down on power. So by changing the exhaust, we noticed that, and hopefully that'll be our problem solved. loads happened in that race. I hit my own teammate off, but don't feel like that was my fault. And I went off a couple of times when I was battling. I did the best I could, made up as many places as I could. I feel like I had good pace, but just couldn't make up enough places. I'm sure you've just seen that race one was pretty mad. I think this time there's a few optimistic moves that I'll leave out this time, particularly in the chicane and the outside of Tower Bend. But yeah, starting P11 this time. There was a penalty from yesterday that's bumped me up one space. I think I've got the pace to move forward from there. There's definitely no faster cars behind me. But if I can get up into the top 8, the reverse grid will put me closer to the front for race 3. So that's really the goal of this race. A missing car, sorry, and he moved forward one space earlier than he should have been. So it goes back a lap, so I should have been ahead of you.
You should have been where you were.
Yeah. Right, but when we gridded up, we were next to each other.
No, you weren't.
No, you weren't.
He was next to me.
Did you jump start as well?
Oh.
You jump started as well?
In the first one?
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Did you get penalty?
I don't know. How am I supposed to know that? Like, you were quite handy to have in front of you, you know. Just push people out of the way and I'll follow you through. That was another eventful one. Finished P9, so didn't quite make the top 8 that I wanted to try and get a reverse grid. But overall a good race, and you know, the car in front made some gaps for me that I just followed through in, which was nice, and a few mistakes ahead of me, so made up a few places. I'm not sure if I'm going to get penalised for being in the wrong grid position when we came back round, so I need to go up to the clerk with my footage and see what's going on. And the reason was because of turn 1, we're side by side going through turn 1, and Joe tried to stick it around the outside, and obviously it's my line, so I just run all the way out, and he went out on the edge of the tracks. And yeah, check this out as well. We got my new camouflage car. Like, there was a couple of cars that just kicked up loads of mud and water twice, and all went over my windscreen as well. I couldn't see anything towards the end of the race. That's my excuse anyway for missing apexes. But yeah, happy with that race. I might get bumped up to P8 because someone is in clerks and might get a penalty, which means I'll be in reverse grid. I might be on pole for the next race, so we'll see. missed a gear on the start. That's just nerves though, that is, because you're too tense. You're holding the gear stick like, wah! So I've just come back from the Clerk, third time I've been in this weekend. It was nothing really. Aidan Hill's just a little bump on the inside of the hairpin. That race overall was pretty intense, to be honest, mixing it with the front guys. It's just a different level of racing. You know, any little gap, anything, they'll be there, and yeah, they're just quick. They take any gaps they can, and I got shuffled back. But the most annoying thing was I missed a gear on the start. So if I hadn't have done that, I would have been first into turn one, and I think it would have played out very differently. Well, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you at Anglesey.